Have you ever felt like there were different versions of you? Some that want to move forward and grow, and others that seem stuck in pain or fear? What if I told you that the key to healing trauma isn't about silencing those voices, but learning to understand them, and that psychedelics might help unlock that process faster than we thought? Welcome back to Psyche Unveiled. Today we are diving into the groundbreaking combination of internal family systems, IFS therapy, and psychedelic-assisted therapy, especially with medicines like MDMA and ketamine. Backed by decades of clinical experience and fueled by new research, this emerging approach might just be one of the most powerful tools we have for deep emotional healing. Internal family systems, or IFS, is a groundbreaking therapeutic model developed by Dr. Richard Schwartz. And here's the key idea: your mind isn't broken or flawed, it's just multidimensional. You're not one single voice or identity, but a collection of inner parts, each with its own role, emotions, and story. IFS views these parts like members of an internal family. And like any family, they sometimes clash, protect each other, or carry deep wounds. The goal of IFS is not to silence these parts, fix them, or push them away, but to understand them with compassion and bring harmony back to your inner world. Let's begin with this. Trauma isn't just what happened to us. It's what happens inside us as a result. It's the wound left behind and all the ways we learn to survive it. When someone goes through overwhelming experiences, abuse, neglect, war, or even long-term emotional disconnection, the brain and body often can't handle the pain in the moment. So that pain gets split off, buried deep within us in what internal family systems calls exiles. These exiles are our younger, most wounded inner parts. They hold the burdens of fear, deep pain of trauma, shame, rejection, neglect, heartbreak, helplessness, or loneliness. But instead of processing these feelings, we often push them away because it feels too unsafe to face them. Enter the protectors. IFS explains that when exiles are buried, the mind brings in protectors to manage life and keep that buried pain from ever surfacing. But they never go away. They long to be heard, seen, and healed. Some of these protectors are managers, controlling, perfectionistic, critical parts that try to prevent bad things from happening. Protectors are like the responsible older siblings. Their job is to keep you safe and in control. They might push you to overachieve, make you people please, stay quiet in relationships, or avoid risk. They're constantly scanning for danger and doing their best to prevent you from feeling hurt, especially by keeping vulnerable parts locked away. Others are firefighters, more reactive parts, like emergency responders. They rush in when protectors can't keep the pain down. These parts act fast and often intensely. They might use food, alcohol, pornography, scrolling, shopping, or even dissociation to shut it down quickly. Firefighters aren't trying to hurt you. They're trying to rescue you from the discomfort of emotional pain, usually by numbing or distracting you from it. The issue is that their methods can have devastating effects to you and those around you. But the most important concept is that none of these parts are bad. They've all taken on extreme roles that they did not really want to take to protect the system. And here's what makes IFS so different from many other therapeutic models. It doesn't aim to eliminate or override these parts. Instead, it creates space for them to be understood, respected, and transformed. This space is made possible by the self. According to Schwartz, the self is your core essence, the part of you that is unbreakable, and we all have this part within us. It can never be damaged, no matter how traumatic your past has been. This inner core of healing and leadership is always within us. It's just often buried under the noise of our protective parts. When you're in self, you feel calm, confident, curious, compassionate, connected, courageous, clear, and creative. Schwartz calls these the 8 C's of self-leadership. And from this place, something powerful becomes possible. When you're operating from the self, we can gently ask protectors to step back. Not forcefully, not aggressively, but with love and curiosity. You begin to hold space for your protectors instead of fighting them. You can say, "I see you. I know you're trying to help." And over time, these parts start to trust the self. And when they do, we can meet the exiles, The self doesn't rush in to fix or rescue. It listens, it allows, it witnesses, and in doing so, the exiles begin to unburden, to release the pain, beliefs, and emotional weight they've carried for years. What's beautiful is that these same exiled parts, once healed, often transform into your most joyful, playful, intuitive, or creative qualities. IFS therapy is about making peace inside. Instead of trying to get rid of your anxiety, your anger, your guilt, your addictions, you begin to understand why they exist. It's a journey of interconnection, led not by force, but by curiosity and compassion. So when someone asks, what is IFS therapy? The real answer is, it's a way to come home to yourself, not the surface-level, performative self, but the deep self, the true you that has always been there, quietly waiting beneath the noise. Now here's where psychedelic-assisted therapy becomes a true game changer. Substances like MDMA and ketamine, used in controlled clinical environments, can reduce fear and defensiveness in the brain. They quiet the protectors and allow access to self-energy, sometimes in a single session. Instead of being overwhelmed by emotion or shame, people report feeling flooded with compassion, clarity, and connection. This is not just anecdotal, this is science. Enter MAPS, the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. For over 3 decades, MAPS has been leading the charge in researching the therapeutic use of psychedelics, especially for post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. In recent clinical trials using MDMA-assisted psychotherapy, patients with severe PTSD, many of whom had struggled for years with little improvement, experienced dramatic reductions in symptoms. Some no longer even met the diagnostic criteria for PTSD after treatment. These results weren't just temporary, they lasted over time. And many of the therapists involved, they were using IFS alongside MDMA. Why? Because the medicine helps people stay in self-energy. It opens the heart. It dissolves the fear-based walls that our protectors usually put up. That means people can safely meet their exiles, sometimes for the first time in their lives. And when they do, they heal. MAPS has received FDA Breakthrough Therapy designation for MDMA-assisted psychotherapy, and full approval could be just around the corner. This isn't fringe anymore. This is evidence-based, peer-reviewed, and it's changing the face of trauma therapy as we know it. When IFS and psychedelics work together, something truly beautiful happens. Instead of numbing the pain, we learn from it. Instead of fighting our parts, we build trust. Instead of just managing symptoms, we transform from within. So why is this approach so effective? Because it sees the person not as broken, but as made up of parts that tried to help in the only way they knew how. And with the help of IFS, psychedelics, and the growing body of science from organizations like MAPS, we now have a way to bring those parts home, to compassion, to connection, and to healing that actually lasts. Medicines like MDMA or ketamine, when used in a controlled therapeutic setting, have a unique ability to lower the walls of our protectors. They reduce fear and self-criticism. They allow people to access self-energy more quickly and stay in it longer. That means more space to meet the exiles with compassion and less resistance from the protectors who usually guard them. People often report that during psychedelic-assisted IFS sessions, they feel a deep sense of love and clarity. They say things like, "I finally saw that scared child in me and just wanted to hug them." Or, "I didn't have to be afraid of my sadness anymore." And unlike traditional talk therapy, which can circle around trauma without reaching its core, this approach goes directly to the root, but gently. It doesn't re-traumatize, it reconnects. When the exiles are heard and healed, their burden softens. And when that happens, the protectors don't have to work so hard anymore. They can shift roles, from blockers to allies, from firefighters to friends, from managers to mentors. This is what true internal harmony looks like. So why is this approach so effective for trauma? Because it doesn't pathologize you. It doesn't try to fix or suppress your parts. It recognizes that all of you, even the most reactive or numbed out parts, have always been trying to protect you. And through the wisdom of IFS, supported by the open-hearted clarity that psychedelics can bring, we finally get to do what trauma never allowed us to do. Feel safe, be seen, and begin to heal. for real. Dr. Richard Schwartz has been vocal about the incredible potential he's seen when IFS is paired with psychedelics. In fact, many of his recent trainings include modules on psychedelic integration. He believes, like Dr. Gabor Mate, that trauma isn't what happens to you, it's what happens inside you. And healing means creating conditions where the body, mind, and soul can finally exhale. Gabor Mate's work with ayahuasca in therapeutic contexts echoes this. He emphasizes that these medicines are not the cure, but they help access your innermost parts. The beauty is that you don't necessarily need psychedelics to start healing. Many people begin with regular IFS therapy and experience profound changes, but many find that combining it with psychedelic support helps them achieve faster healing. We're at the edge of something big. The combination of internal family systems and psychedelic therapy is offering people a new way to reconnect with themselves, with their bodies, with their stories. It's not magic, it's not easy, but it's real. And more than that, it's deeply human. If you've struggled with addiction, anxiety, or the weight of past trauma, know this. There's a self inside you that has never been broken. IFS and psychedelics help you restore the ability to live from a place of wholeness where all parts of you are and feel welcome. Thanks for watching. If this video touched you, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Let's keep spreading this message of hope, wholeness, and healing.